film critic for the Conway Daily Sun with my thoughts on Bruno, the follow-up to 2006's Borat. And once again, Sacha Baron Cohen is taking a character from the Ali G show and bringing him to America with the hopes of provoking some sort of response from the population. Now with Borat, the response was meant to be sort of through Borat's own bigotry and racism and sexism of putting a mirror up to America and revealing the dark underbelly of America. And the film did do that. And I was definitely one of those people that wasn't heralding Borat as a new comedy classic, which a lot of critics were doing at the time. I was really put off by a lot of the reviews that came out at the time because there seemed to be an elitism that what the film was saying was a representation of all Americans, and it's a representation of some Americans, and to make that leap that all Americans are like the Americans represented in the film is just that, it is a leap. And Bruno, the point that Bruno is trying to make, because Bruno is a gay Austrian talk show host, so the point that the Bruno character is supposed to reveal is that our culture has become celebrity obsessed and that there's some homophobia still in a lot of Americans. And that point is made, and it's made well, but I do think some of the antics that Sacha Baron Cohen goes to and the lengths he goes to get a response are a little unfair, because people are responding not to the fact that he's homosexual per se, but that he's being so over the top and making people uncomfortable, breaking into personal space, comfort zones, and even the most liberal-minded person is likely to be turned off by his behavior. And it has less to do with his sexuality and more to do with just the fact that he's kind of just breaking social mores. But that being said, there are some very sharp sequences here. A conversation where Bruno, who is obsessed with, trying to become famous, is talking to a couple kind of airheady bimbo girls about what charity he should join that will help him to become famous the quickest. Which one's the most popular one? That's very funny. Auditioning babies, talking to the parents of child actors, babies, I mean, you can't even really call them child actors, but would-be child actors, and the lengths these parents will go to have their kids be in a photo shoot or a video or whatever is kind of disturbing and very funny. So that scene works. Bruno going hunting with a bunch of southern good old boys, funny as well. Going to boot camp, that's funny as well. But there are sequences that are just kind of, you watch and you just realize they're there for shock value and nothing more. So, not as good as Borat. Borat had some freshness to it, hadn't quite been seen before, or at least, not, again, another thing that a lot of the overreaction, I think, to Borat was that it was this new thing, and it wasn't the first mockumentary ever, but I will concede it was kind of the first of its kind in that sense, kind of taking the Daily Show antics and taking them to a new level. So this being the second time around doing the same thing, it's not as fresh, it's not as original, but there are some laughs here. But just be warned, if you do not have a taste for extreme raunch humor, Bruno goes to levels that I didn't even realize you could go, and crosses lines I didn't realize you could even cross. So just be aware of that. There was an older couple that actually walked out of the screening I was at. So just be warned, this is definitely not for everybody, but if you like Borat, you'll probably like Bruno. Anyway, this is Alec, and keep watching.